Our next wonderful speaker is Amy Villeneuve. She is the Chief Operating Officer of Kiva Systems in North Reading. Kiva is responsible for stuff I really want to see. Warehouse automation, robotics, acquired by Amazon. But the really exciting thing, and I've just met her for the first time, I think. Well, you did fine. She got her MBA at Harvard. It's another school. But she was born in Detroit and comes out of the auto industry, which I did. As I told her, I built carburetors for Ford. I actually built the plant obsolescence into Ford carburetors during the 1960s. It helped put me my way through college. In fact, in those days, when Detroit was the richest city in the world in the 1960s, because of the auto industry and the UAW, I worked in the summer, and I had to work. We were putting out these carburetors for the new Ford Mustang. I had to work Sunday, July 4th. For 10 hours, but I made enough money that one shift to pay my fall tuition at the University of Michigan. My son's at Northwestern. I can't do that today. But Amy has been doing marvelous stuff at Kiva Systems, and we want to hear from you.
So, have you ever placed an order online? I'm certain everyone in this room can say yes, they have, but wondered, how does it actually get into the box? Well, that's the problem that Kiva Systems set out to solve 10 years ago. In a traditional warehouse, you have pick workers that drag a cart behind them and walk 5 to 7 miles a day, up and down through shelves, picking out an order. In a Kiva warehouse, the robots go out and pick up the shelves and bring them to the pick worker who assembles the order. So Kiva has really turned the traditional automation, materials handling automation on its head. We were founded back in 2003. After a couple of rounds of VC funding, Staples, which is a Massachusetts-based company, took the leap of faith based on a vision. Mick went to them and said, hey, how about if hundreds of mobile robots go out to your warehouse? And they said, absolutely, let's try it. So really, really innovative company. A couple of years later, we were voted the fastest growing company by, sixth fastest growing company by Inc. magazine. Last year, we were within the top 25 of the world's most innovative companies. And then in May of 2012, we were actually purchased by number 4 on that list, who I think is number 2 now, which is Amazon. So very exciting growth trajectory here. We're very proud to say that our robots are manufactured right here in North Reading, Mass, and we ship them globally, much like David's able to say. So it's fun to talk about Kiva, but it's even more fun to watch Kiva. So as I said, we manufacture all of our system. We make the whole system, right? We make the shelving units, we'll outsource the shelving units. We make the robots, final assembly and test right in our North Reading facility. We have about 120,000 square feet of final assembly and test for our system there. We will actually produce this year the same number of robots that we've produced in our entire history, and that will scale by 3x next year. So we're continuing to grow tremendously. We're scaling to mass production. Nowhere near at David's levels, but we're certainly getting up there. We have a deep 5S plus one being safety, lean culture that we're ingraining throughout our organization. We have we used a workforce training grant and worked with WPI to come in and do Lean and Six Sigma training for our assembly technicians and test technicians. We're doing Kaizen events and continuous improvement events and working really hard to develop our workforce and really teach them the Lean principles as we continue to grow and scale our manufacturing processes. And the interesting thing about Kiva is that Kiva was actually started in an apartment in Silicon Valley. And Mick Mounts, our founder, realized that in order for Kiva to really thrive, he needed to move it to Massachusetts. And he needed to be able to tap into the tech workforce and the tech schools here in the Massachusetts area. And that has been extremely successful for us. We are around 406 employees today. We will be up around 470 employees by the end of the year. We will have hired more than 200 employees since May of 2012, so we're growing rapidly. Almost all of those employees are right here in Massachusetts. We also leverage a very local supply base. So we have about 29% of our suppliers are Massachusetts-based suppliers. And that's a kind of a strong partnership. We feel like we're growing this ecosystem around us right here in Massachusetts, right in our own backyard. And the other part that I like about Kiva has kind of a cool factor to it, right? There's a little bit of sex appeal to those little orange robots. And we like to think that we're making manufacturing in Massachusetts a little bit cool. And we know that a number of other companies in this area, a lot of other robotics companies and such, are doing the same thing. We have tried a little bit of low-cost outsourcing for non-core parts or large metal castings, and we've realized the challenges with that, right? There are a tremendous number of challenges to trying to work with suppliers in China, not the least of which is the language barrier and the amount of time you have to spend kind of side by side with those suppliers. So we prefer to keep it a little bit more local, and we've been very successful doing so. And I guess I would end it with saying that since Massachusetts is a big sports town, we like to think we can also compete on the ping pong table against Governor Patrick. However, Governor Patrick did win. Thank you.